Welcome to More Than a Few Words, marketing conversation for business owners. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. And, I'm an old school marketer. I have talked about the 4 P's forever: product, place, price, and promotion. But you know what's missing from those 4 P's? People. And actually, there's a whole group of people that we need to be talking about. There are 4 P's when it comes to the people of your marketing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And to have this conversation with me, I've invited Dave Torrez to join me. And Dave is the Director of Small Business Success at Constant Contact. That is, by the way, my favorite online marketing tool. And if you're a regular listener, you heard my original conversation with Dave, and he is back for another one. And I am so excited he's sitting in the guest chair again. Dave, welcome back.
Lorraine, this is a great sign. I'm back. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I love this.
Yes, you did a good job the first time, so we are having you back.
Hooray.
Hooray. But, when we were talking about the party principle in marketing last time, you alluded to the 4 P's, and I was so intrigued. So I definitely wanted to have a repeat conversation. What are the 4 P's of people?
Yeah, well, let me just set up why you really need to think about this, because I think oftentimes what we do, and I think of this more so along the lines of social media, but can also kind of play into what you're doing from a segmentation standpoint, right? Breaking your list of customers down when you're thinking about email or text, whatever it is. But I think from a social standpoint, we often get into this idea of we feel like we have to do the thing. And so then we get on the channel and we start posting stuff, but we like posting is the action, posting is the strategy, right? And it's really devoid of, I think, you mentioned people, and people at the end of the day are who we're trying to communicate with, who we're trying to reach. And so I think if you start to get a little bit more pointed with who you're trying to reach, not only from the customer perspective, but from the other areas that can also help your business move into new areas, right? And so the 4 P's that I talk about are this idea of peers, pros, patrons, and promoters. So peers. This is people that are really on the same level as you, right? They may be other business owners, they may be other marketers, right? These are people that are trying to do the same things as you. And these are people that you can talk to, right? These are people you can talk about your challenges with. Like, hey, what did you do? How did you do that, right? Like these are your peers. These are people that allow you to build relationships with people online and have these conversations that help you grow in some way.
Now, I have to tell you, I have always enjoyed the idea of a peer network, but I think sometimes business owners get a little concerned of, well, if I'm interacting and engaging with content on social media for people who do what I do, am I promoting my competitors, and will that work against me? How do you answer that question for that audience?
So I think there are a few things. I mean, oftentimes you're dealing with folks that are in different locales or complementary businesses, right? And the reality is, like, your competition is out there all of the time, right? And so the more you can do to kind of boost each other from a small business perspective, I think helps in general. But I think you're not trying to promote your direct competitor, so to speak, right? You're trying to find people in complementary businesses that, again, complement your business in a way that maybe you're offering complementary products or things that you can actually help each other, right? You're in the same community, those types of things. And so I think it's really thinking through that there. And then even just business owners that are just in a completely different industry, but like all businesses get successful from understanding the systems and processes that they need to put in place, right? And so you can really learn from what others have done in that area as well.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Okay, so we have the peers.
Yes.
Now we're talking about the pros. Who are the pros, and how do you engage with them?
Yeah, now the pros are people that maybe you may not engage with right away, but these are businesses that you want to follow. These are businesses that are kind of at that next level, the thing that you aspire to get to. And so these are folks that you're like, oh, these guys are doing it right. Like, how do I pay attention to what they're doing so that I can, not steal, but like, think of ideas that like, oh, I'm going to try to replicate that, right? I'm going to
Mhm.
use that same type of format. And so these are also people that you may aspire to having a professional connection with in the future, right? And so I like to think of this in the terms of lists, right? So you can create a list of peers, you can create a list of pros. And so this is what you go to for inspiration, right? This
Mhm.
is what you go to for, ooh, how would they do it, right? Like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to do this. Well, what did they do, right? And so these pros are just the people that are, again, the thing you aspire to and the thing that offers you some type of inspiration.
I love that. I also find that when I comment or interact on a post created by a pro,
Mm,
I end up having conversations with other peers. I
yes.
end up finding more of my community and growing my community, whether or not that pro and I ever directly connect, their community ends up being my community.
Well, you bring up a great point where you just say that you're commenting and you're engaging and you're connecting with other people. I think this is the big missing element sometimes, where when people who are probably not seeing great results from social media are going out there to, talk, right? When
Mhm.
really what makes social work so well is that social component, the
Mhm.
engagement, right? The connections that you are making. And so, again, these 4 Ps help you think of through it that way. I'm like, oh, there's a different way to do this rather than just posting. Probably the fifth P that we don't want to focus on, right?
Is the posting. Okay, so I've got peers, I got pros.
Yep. And then we go to patrons. And
Okay.
patrons are what you think, right? These are the people that will give you money. These are your customers. You might have different customers, right? And so you think about even breaking that down further if that's the case for your business. But this is where you're actually looking to engage with the people that support your business in the form of giving you money in exchange for what it is that you offer, right? And so the content you're creating there is really for them. And the people that you're looking to engage with are those folks so that you learn more. And we like having engagement on social in particular with these people that are our customers, because those engagements allow you to reach new people that are in their networks because they'll see those. And those people that are connected to your customers oftentimes make great prospects for you as well, right? Because those are people that are like your existing customers.
Absolutely. And especially if you are in a B2B environment,
Yeah.
that is such a natural path to that next opportunity. Okay. Would you say that for that patron community, that's probably the place where you're also going to have some of your more direct offers? Where your pros and your peers don't really care about that.
Right.
When you are posting content on a infrequent basis about a specific offer, that's really who you're trying to connect with.
Yeah, I think it's really about thinking about awareness, right? You're trying to raise awareness about your products and services with these people. You're trying to handle any customer service related items that may be going on with them. And then really just looking for ways to entertain and engage this audience again, because it's those engagements that's going to help you out when you start thinking about algorithms and you start thinking about who's going to see what, right? Like those are the people that you really want to start thinking about. How do you get them connected?
Cool. All right, last one. What's the fourth P?
So promoters. Now, these are the people that really love what you do. And you start to identify these people. You share something, they're the first to engage with it. They're sharing it with other people, right? These are people that they may never buy anything from you. That may not
Mhm.
be what they do, right? But they are, for whatever reason, they're connected with you. They like what you do. Maybe again, it's a complementary business, right? Like we talked about the
Mhm.
peers, but this is someone that's really like, oh, like they're a promoter. People are natural at this sometimes, and
Mhm.
those are the folks you want to again create things for, right? Because or these are the people you may DM and say like, hey, I'm trying to promote this. Would you mind sharing this
Mhm.
with your network? Because they're happy to do that for you, right? Because they
Mhm.
know they trust you, they trust your business, they trust what you're doing, and they're happy to share that with the people they're connected with. And so again, treat those people differently. Think about who that audience is, and I like going in and knowing, right? Like
Mhm.
if you share this podcast, Lorraine, right, and you go on, you might know, oh, I know the first 3 people that are going to like the
Mhm.
podcast, or who's listening to it right away, right?
Mhm.
Like these are the people that you want to like really engage with and understand, because you know that they're going to help spread the word about what it is that you're trying to do or what you're trying to accomplish.
And I think you hit on something there, that you have this group of people and you know that they will engage with you and you know they're always going to be the first. And I'm going to suggest that if you have those people, you got to share a little love back.
Yes.
That if you see someone is always loving your stuff, take a minute and return the favor so that you stay top of mind in their feed and in their mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point.
Awesome. Well, Dave, 10 minutes has flown by again. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Absolute pleasure as always, and maybe we'll do it again sometime.
We might do it again sometime. One of the other things that you should know about Dave is that he is the host of Be a Marketer podcast. There'll be a link to that in the show notes. Dave, thanks so much for being a part of the show.
Thanks, Lorraine. Great to see you as always.
Always. If you've enjoyed this conversation, if you'd like to find other resources for your business, hop over to morethanafewwords.com. You'll find hundreds of conversations just like this one in our archive, as well as tools, tips, webinars, worksheets, and more. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.